Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Tyler. This is going to be another video request coming from a person that goes by the nickname of Tay Lit. If I'm mispronouncing your nickname wrong or I missaid your nickname, I simply apologize to you. But I want to simply tell you, thank you for taking the time to ask me to do a video request pertaining to how to deal with living with negative people. And I'm not just only doing it for this person's sake, but for every single person out there that is watching this video. But before I get into the few reasons of how to deal with living with negative people, I really want to say this statement right quick. I really want to say this right quick. And this is, haven't it ever dawned on you whenever that you are being positive throughout the day, or you feel your vibrations being so positive, and then whenever that you are stepping foot into your home or into your house, it seems like you can just feel negative vibrations up in there? And the reason is simply because of the people that you might be staying with, or the person that you might be staying with, despite of the type of people that you might be living with. Or it could be your so-called friend, or it might be so-called friends that you might think that might be a true friend or true friends, or you might be living with family members, or you might be living with a family member that is so negative to the point of you just don't even want to be around it, because every time that you turn around, that family member or that so-called friend or those so-called friends or those so-called family members, every time that you turn around, they're so negative about in and everything. About whenever a situation come up, they begin to cry and complain about that, rather than adapting their mindset to see a new outlook so that they can solve the problem about that. Or it might be a particular or deal with a particular person or something that has been done to them, and every time that you turn around, they're constantly complaining about that. Or it might be every time that you turn around, when you enter into the house, that so-called family member or that so-called family members or that so-called friend or that so-called friends, every time that you turn around, they always looking for something petty that is around the house so that they can complain about, that can get on your nerves to the cotton picking core, just something that they want to be so negative about. And I just want to sit here and I just want to tell all of you people that no matter how much you have tried, whenever that you have went into that type of environment to be positive, it seems like those type of people are so negative to the point of you just sick and tired of dealing with it. And sometimes it be to the point of when you get fed up and whenever you get mad about those so-called family member or that so-called family member or that so-called relative or them so-called relatives or them so-called friends or that so-called friends. Every time that you have tried to tell them something to change their mindset about something, it go through one ear through another ear like they ain't even listened to it. You know the reason why? It's simply because they outlook is so negative, they can't even see nothing else. So I know I talk too much and said that on that, and I know a lot of you people like, Tyler, get into the video and how to deal with it. All right, the first way of how to deal with these type of people, and I know this is going to be the first one that you are going to find, okay, what is so different about this one? The first way to how to deal with negative people that you are living with is that if you are working, if you have a morning job, get up in the morning, and then if you gonna fix breakfast, get your breakfast, get on up, and hurry up and get out of there while you focusing on being positive. And then whenever that you get out of work, do not go home immediately. Go to somebody that you know that is full of positive vibrations, or go to the library where you can extremely focus on. And like I said, stay there for particular long hours, so that you can avoid of dealing with these type of negative people at home. And then come home and make it consistent at a middle part of the night or whenever that the library closes. If you don't want to stay at the library for a long time, go shop or do something like that. Or go look around at a store or something like that. But do not go home. But when you arrive home, that either those negative people are going to be asleep, or those negative people are probably going to be wondering in their head, okay, what is going on here? But the thing about it is, just sit there and say, how you doing? And then go on into your room and be focused no matter what is happening, and do it on a consistent basis. And the reason why I say that is simply because that will give the negative person or the negative people who are you're staying with, rather it might be family members or so-called friends, something to really think about. And I'll get into that in a little bit in a moment. But the second one of how to deal with these negative people that you are living with, and that is always focus on giving a positive word to them, no matter what. Whenever that you are walking out of the door, and whenever that you are walking in the door, whenever they have something negative to say or want to complain, always strike back with positivity and then walk on out as quick as you can. And do this on a constant, consistent basis, because when you're constantly doing that, that's getting that negative person to think. Just give them something uplifting and positive, because that will start immersing in their mind. But do it day in and day out. Just give them something uplifting and positive till it's going to bother their consciousness. But you don't intermingle with the negativity. And then after you give that positive uplifting word, just sit there and say, I am tired, I want to go to bed. Or just sit there and say, I got to go make a call. Make some type of excuse up to get out of their complaining or those negative vibrations. This is what I say, being example for them. That's what I call it. Give them a short positive word and go on about your business, and always make up an excuse that you have something else to do. And I want to sit here and give the third one, how to deal with people that you're living with who are negative. And I know a lot of you people sitting there saying, well, Tyler, you forgot about the night folks or the afternoon people. I ain't forgot about y'all. I ain't forgot about y'all at all. This is what I want to sit here and I want to say to all of you people. If you work during the nighttime and you have to come home and you have to go to sleep, I want to sit here and I want to say something, that if you know somebody somewhere near around that is positive and that can put up with you and that you know real well, and that person don't mind you coming over, you can go over and stay at that person's house and sleep for the moment until you get up and then go to your daily routine. Go to the library or something like that, or go do something to get your mind very positive. And the next thing that you can do is that you can tell that person that whenever you come to the door, if you decide to go home, say, do you have any assignments for me to do? Right? It might be family members or so-called people, but do not engage with their conversation. If they don't have any assignments to do, always make an excuse that you are tired and that you are sleepy and that you need to go to your room. Always do this consistently, simply because that's what get the mind of these type of people start thinking in their consciousness. And then go back into your room and don't have no interminglement or engagement with these type of people that you're living with. And then if you go to work around 2 or 4 o'clock, I will advise you to when you get up, is you can go to the park or you can go over somebody else's house. This is the ways, unusual ways how to deal with it. And the reason is because this is what it bees on the consciousness of these negative type of people. So my whole entire points of all of this is that when you are constantly doing this on a constant basis or on a daily basis, constantly, this is going to cause the negative people to start thinking about what they're doing wrong. This will constantly make that negative person think, okay, something is up. They're going to start thinking, okay, you don't want to be around them at all. And they're going to start thinking the whys and all of that type of stuff. Now, if a negative person by some means come approach you and say, how come you act like that you don't want to be here? And just tell them the truth and be blunt about it and sit there and say that, and then you sit there and say, I don't want to proceed no further in this conversation because I am a working individual. Shut it off very quickly. Because there's 2 things that's going to have to happen. That person, as you constantly doing those things, is going to start slowly changing their outlook. Or the creator of the universe is going to create you to put in you in another setting where it's very positive. Those 2 things has got to happen. And I'm just going to go on ahead and cut this video short. And for those who liked and watched this video, I give you the invitation to please subscribe to this channel because you'll receive weekly content on a weekly basis. Thank you and have a great and awesome day or evening, people.